Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today's topic I have chosen, life is so short, devote yourself to spiritual practice. The greatest wonder and the greatest mystery is God dwells in our own heart. That is the greatest wonder. The greatest mystery is, yet we are not able to see Him. Why? It's because of the mind. Mind plays very important role in one's life. Master said in the Gospel, the aim of life is the attainment of God. Work is only a preliminary step. It can never be the end. Even unselfish work is only a means. It is not the end. Shambhu Malik, one of the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, once said to Sri Ramakrishna, Master, please bless me that I may spend all my money for good purposes, such as building hospitals and dispensaries, making roads and digging wells. Sri Ramakrishna said to him, well, it will be good if you can do these things in a spirit of detachment, but that is very difficult. Whatever you may do, you must always remember that the aim of this life of yours is the attainment of God and not the building of hospitals and dispensaries. Suppose God appeared before you and said to you, accept a boon from me. Would you then ask Him, O God, build me some hospitals and dispensaries? Or would you not rather pray to Him, O God, may I have pure love at your lotus feet? May I have your uninterrupted vision? Hospitals, dispensaries, and all such things are unreal. God alone is real and all else unreal. Furthermore, after realizing God, one feels that He alone is the doer and we are but His instruments. Then why should we forget Him and destroy ourselves by being involved in too many activities? After realizing Him, one may, through His grace, become His instrument in building many hospitals and dispensaries. So the first priority should be to realize God. That is to realize our true self. to see that spark of the divine light in our heart. Therefore, Sri Ramakrishna said, I say again that work is only the first step. It can never be the goal of life. Devote yourself to spiritual practice and go forward. Through practice you will advance more and more in the path of God. At last you will come to know that God alone is real and all else is illusory, and that the goal of life is the attainment of God. We should never forget this, because we have forgotten this ideal, this goal. We are in perpetual suffering. We are in perpetual bondage. So, life minus God is bondage. Life with God is freedom. Once upon a time, Sri Ramakrishna tells this story. A woodcutter went into a forest to chop wood. There suddenly he met a brahmachari. The holy man said to him, "Oh my good man, go forward." On returning home, the woodcutter asked himself, why did the brahmachari tell me to go forward? Some time passed. One day he remembered the brahmachari's words. He said to himself, today I shall go deeper into the forest. Going deep into the forest, he discovered innumerable sandalwood trees. He was very happy and returned with cartloads of sandalwood. He sold them in the market and became very rich. A few days later, he again remembered the words of the holy man to go forward. He went deeper into the forest and discovered a silver mine near a river. This was even beyond his dreams. He dug out silver from the mine and sold it in the market. He got so much money that he didn't even know how much he had. A few days passed. One day he thought, the brahmachari didn't ask me to stop at the silver mine. He told me to go forward. Go forward was his message. This time he went to the other side of the river and found a gold mine. Then he exclaimed, "Oh, just see, this is why he asked me to go forward." Again a few days afterwards, he went still deeper into the forest and found heaps of diamonds and other precious gems. He took these also and became as rich as the god of wealth himself. Therefore, Sri Ramakrishna says, I say that whatever you may do, you will find better and better things if only you go forward. You may feel a little ecstasy as a result of japa, but don't conclude from this that you have achieved everything in spiritual life. Work is by no means the goal of life. Go forward, and then you will be able to perform unselfish work. But again I say, that is most difficult to perform unselfish work. Therefore, with love and longing in our heart, pray to God, O God, grant me devotion at thy lotus feet and reduce my worldly duties. Please grant me the boon that the few duties I must do may be done in a detached spirit. If you go still farther, you will realize God. You will see Him. In time, you will converse with Him. So God is real. That is the substance of Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. That is absolute reality. It can never change. It is always present. So, we should strive through spiritual practices to see the Divine Lord in our heart. Sri Ramakrishna again said, true, when a man dies after attaining knowledge, he doesn't have to go to another plane of existence. He is not born again. But as long as he has not attained knowledge, as long as he has not realized God, he must come back to the life of this earth. He can never escape it. For such a person, there is a hereafter. A man is liberated after attaining knowledge, after realizing God. For him, there is no further coming back to earth. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of a boiled paddy grain. If it is sown, it doesn't sprout. Just so, if a man is boiled by the fire of knowledge, he can't take part any more in the play of creation. He cannot lead a worldly life, for he has no attachment to lust and gold. What will you gain by sowing boiled paddy? So, the life is so short. Nobody knows when death comes. Make it spiritual. We never know when the last minute will come. Let us embrace each day and each moment as though it may be our last. In Srimad Bhagavat, there are two famous episodes. To whom the message of impending death is given. One is Kamsa and another one is King Parikshit. Both are given divine messages of inevitable death. However, how did they handle? They handled this message in distinctly different ways. King Kamsa fights the will of karma and uses his wealth and his weapons to try to avert the inevitable. Even goes so far as killing the children of his own sister in order to avoid his own downfall. In the end, however, one can never go against the law of karma, and he succumbs to a vicious, violent death dealt to him by the hand of God himself. The other one, King Parikshit, on the other hand, realizes there is no way to fight the call of the Lord of Death, and he dedicates every final moment on earth to listening to the divine story of God told on the holy banks of Mother Ganga. In the end, when the hand of death comes, King Parikshit is ready, for he has surrendered to the divine will. He ultimately attains liberation. Just as King Kamsa and King Parikshit have been given specific warnings about upcoming death, so have we all. We know it will come. We just don't know whether it will come in a day, a week, a year, or 50 years. However, that it will come is inevitable. Therefore, let us live our lives full of love, full of sharing, full of caring, and full of giving. That's the way. Human life is very precious, very noble and virtuous. It's a pity human beings don't realize this. The whole purpose and goal of human life is to know one's true nature. Forgetting one's true nature, man is caught up in worldly concerns and plunged in misery. The ancient sages indicated the path to be pursued for the redemption of mankind. They commended 9 forms of worship, any one of which could confer bliss and redeem a man's life. To experience the proximity of the divine, the easiest path is Namasmaran, Sri Ramakrishna also said this in Gospel. Kaliyuge Nama Sankirtanam. Remembering constantly the name of the Lord in this modern age. Sage Vedavyas declared that in the Kali Yuga there is nothing greater than chanting the name of Hari for realizing God. It is the easiest path for one and all, the scholar and illiterates, rich and the poor. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord has indicated the qualifier which a devotee should possess to enable him to earn the love of the Lord. Among these qualities, Krishna declared anapeksha as important. Anapeksha means desirelessness. Today there are few without desires of one kind or other. All sensual pleasures are ephemeral, but most people are content with them. Greater than the sensual is a transcendental path, Shreyo Marga, which confers lasting bliss. When one does any action as an offering to God, it gets sanctified. Such an act becomes an apeksha, a desireless act. Every selfless act or devotion becomes an action free from the taint of desire. The second quality is shuchi, that is purity, which is required. It is both internal and external purity. God cares for internal purity of the mind. The third quality is daksha. This means that the devotees should be steadfast and unwavering in any situation. With his mind firmly rooted in God, he should engage himself in service to others and perform actions in a spirit of detachment. Only such a devotee is eligible for God's love. He is unaffected by pleasure or pain, gain or loss, or what happens in the mundane world. The fourth quality is udasinaha, indifference to the external happenings. The fifth quality is freedom from egoism and possessiveness. One should get rid of the idea of doership and ownership and surrender everything to God. When we come into this world, we didn't bring anything. When we leave this world, we don't take anything. How true it is. Still we don't learn. Keep on hoarding, possessing, fighting for the property, all sorts of things. Human birth is a mark of divinity. What is essential is to recognize the indwelling divinity and live on that basis. Where is God? He dwells in the heart of everyone. Ishvara sarvabhutanam huddeshi arjuna tishtati. It has been clearly stated. And if you focus your mind on the divine light inside your heart, in course of time you realize it. To experience the divinity within, one has to see the divine in all others and render them service in that spirit. Liberation, objective of human life. The scriptural texts like the Upanishads describe the nature of the Atman, that is indwelling spirit, consciousness, so that human beings can get insight into their real nature. The self's essential nature is consciousness and bliss, and it is eternal, untouched by the changes that affect the body. The embodied soul takes birth again and again to work out the karma, result of its actions, accrued over several lives, and in the process also accumulates fresh karma, which becomes the cause of future births. So you must be very careful what type of actions you are doing, and Every action has got its result and is bound to come. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad employs the analogy of a person shifting his residence, packing up all his belongings and transporting them to his new dwelling, to the process of transmigration of the soul. The actions performed by a person during his lifetime in the form of karma, both good and bad, accompany the transmigrating soul like baggage. The goal of human life is to attain liberation from this unremitting process by realizing the true nature of the self. It is essential to understand that karma is a determinant factor for all that a person enjoys during this birth. He can't alter the working of this karma, which has started giving result, and the joys and sorrows he experiences come on their own accord. Where then is the scope for man to alleviate his condition? Human beings are endowed with free will, but the limiting factor is karma. Man can, by exercising his choice wisely, strive for liberation and also lead a moral life so that he can evolve spiritually, even if his karma entails more births. Just as a mango retains its connection to the tree because of the stem, the body is bound to the soul by ignorance. The simile can be extended further to understand the enigma of human birth and death. It is common knowledge that the mango falls down on its own accord at the right time when it is ripe. So also the human body will drop according to the depletion of the karma which was responsible for its birth. One may wonder why the Upanishads, which deal with the subject of man's liberation from bondage, touch upon the existential facts of human life like birth and death, which are common knowledge. Ignorance blinds man, and hence the scriptures by constant reiteration reminds him of his mortality so that he will aspire for liberation and develop detachment to worldly pursuits and relationships. Every moment of one's life is precious and must be utilized to evolve towards the goal of liberation by engaging in devotional activities. Most people in the world do not know the true significance of life. Many do not even seem to care about it. 1 in a million may be concerned about knowing the purpose of life. This concern is the first step in the journey towards the ultimate goal. Most young men are content to regard eating, sleeping, dressing, and rearing a big family as the main aims of living. All these doubtless are necessary to some extent, but they alone cannot contribute to peace of mind or fullness in life. The phenomena of the external world are what the eyes see, the ears hear, and the mind cognizes. All these are sensory phenomena. Beyond the senses is the mind, and greater than the mind is the buddhi, intellect. The intellect is governed by the Atman, the indwelling spirit. The human destiny is to realize this Atman. Among the sense organs, the most powerful is the mouth, which has the powers of speech and consuming food. When the mouth is under control of the mind, all other senses can be controlled. Speech should be restrained as much as possible. Then the attention of the mind should be directed towards the buddhi, which has the power of discrimination. When the buddhi is turned towards the Atman, the indwelling light, it begins to recognize the all-pervading consciousness. The inextricable connection between the phenomenal world outside and the world of consciousness inside eludes the understanding of ordinary people. Immersed in their desire for enjoying worldly pleasures, they don't attempt to discover the boundless joy to be derived from the inner spirit. This is because all the sense organs are open only to experiences from outside. It is not surprising that the common person is subject to the outward vision. Only a few develop the inner vision and enjoy spiritual bliss. Is it the body that derives joy from looking at a thing of beauty, or is it the Atman? What is it that relishes the food that is consumed, the body or the spirit? What is it that enjoys fragrance or is moved by companionship? Inquiring in this manner, it will be found that it is the Atman that is the enjoyer and not the physical body. The body by itself is gross and is incapable of experiencing joy. It must be realized that the spirit transcends the mind and the intellect and pervades. The spirit transcends the mind and the intellect and pervades the entire cosmos. The spirit is the basis for the cognition of the external world and experiencing the inner world. The Vedas and Vedangas, music, literature, physics and chemistry, botany and biology, all these different branches of knowledge, they are all related to the phenomenal universe. They belong to the category of aparavidya, the secondary knowledge. People devote their lives mainly to these studies. Only knowledge of the spirit is paravidya, the supreme knowledge. Aparavidya means worldly knowledge. It is pursued mainly for earning a living. But even worldly knowledge exists to point the way to spiritual awareness. Without spiritual knowledge, all knowledge is valueless. Every man has to inquire every moment about the purpose and goal of life. Eating, drinking, sleeping, and passing on cannot be the meaning of human life. All these are common to birds and beasts. What's the uniqueness of man? He is endowed with faculties which can enable him to rise above the animal to the human and the divine level. Speech, mind, and breath, they are manifestations of the Atman. Each is related to a state of consciousness. They are the waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. In the waking state, man is awake and experiences the outer world through sight, hearing, speech, and other senses. The phenomenal universe is what one experiences through the five sense organs. The experience in the waking state is known as Vishwa because the experiences are the subtle form of the cosmic principle. Vishwa has 24 constituent elements: the 5 organs of action, the 5 sense organs, the 5 basic elements, and the 5 pranas, and the mind, the buddhi, the chitta, and ahankara. In the dream state, only the 4 internal senses, mind, buddhi, chitta, and ahankara, function. They constitute the antakarana, the psychosomatic agency. In this state, the experiencer has an effulgent form, tejas, and is known as Taijasa. Sushupti is the state of deep sleep. In this state, prajna alone remains, the principle of knowing. Hence, the experiencer in this state is called prajna, the knower. Vishwa, Taijasa, and prajna are all different names for the Atman in the different states of consciousness, according to the different forms assumed by the Atman in the various states. Prajnanam Brahma declares the Upanishad. Jnana, Vijnana, Prajnana, Sujnana, and Ajnana are modifications of one and the same principle of consciousness. Prajnana comprehends all that is experienced by the antakaran through impressions received by the sense organs, the eyes, the mouth, the ears and the nose, etc. Prajnana is immanent in antakarana as a principle which absorbs and interprets the messages received through the senses. The eyes, for instance, are like the bulb in a lamp. The bulb cannot emit light. It needs the electric current to make it burn. Likewise, the eyes cannot see by themselves. It is prajna, it is prajnana, which sees through the eyes. The same thing applies to the ears and other organs. They all need the power of the inner current to do their work. All the sense organs are insentient by themselves. It is prajnana that animates them and makes them instruments of the consciousness. The universe contains innumerable objects. In all of them, the one unchanging eternal principle is the Atman. That is prajnana. That is Brahman. It is the power of this eternal principle which sustains the evanescent and ever-changing objects in the universe. Asti, existing, bhati, shining, and priyam, pleasing, are three indices of the divine. Satchidananda are the attributes of the divine. Sat indicates permanence, Chit indicates omniscience, Ananda is a state of unalloyed bliss. These three attributes of the divine are changeless and have no form or name. When these three get associated with objects which have name and form, we have the prapancha, the quintuple phenomenal universe. The cosmos is permeated by the divine. Even if you are unable to see it, the divine is present in everything. All our senses function because of the consciousness that operates in every being. Without that consciousness, man would be an insentient creature. The different states of consciousness are mutually exclusive. You can't experience in one state what you have gone through in another. For instance, in a dream, you may weep over the death of a person. But when you wake up, you won't weep for the person who died in the dream. What happened in the dream is true only in the dream state. In the waking state, it is unreal. Likewise, we do not lament in a dream over a person who died in the waking state. Each experience is real only in its state of consciousness. But the one principle that is common to all the states of consciousness, waking, dream and deep sleep, is the Atman. Atman is not bound by the limitations of time, space and circumstance. The body is impermanent, but it is the abode of the indwelling spirit. It is a shrine, and when it moves, the divine moves with it. Hence the body should be cared for in the same way, in which an iron safe, which is of the little value in itself, is safeguarded for the sake of the valuables kept in it. What is it that binds man to the illusory world? It is not family or property. These can be given up when one wishes to do so. But what are the most difficult to renounce are attachment and hatred, ragadvesh, likes and dislikes. As long as these are dominant in man, he can't realize his true self. And as long as man remains unaware of his true self, he is in bondage. For a man in bondage, there is no freedom from suffering or worry. Students should remember that life is precious and should not be wasted in the pursuit of trivial and temporary things. Together with academic studies, they should cultivate spiritual sadhana. Even in academic studies, they should not confine themselves to merely transferring to the memory what is contained in books. They must digest what they have studied and put their knowledge to practical use in the service of society. Try to absorb what is contained in the books and make this knowledge a part of your life. Just as water stored in reservoir is used for irrigation through canals, the knowledge acquired by you should be diverted to useful channels for the benefit of society. Today, everyone talks about his rights and fights for them, but they are forgetting their duties and responsibilities. Rights and duties are like the positive and negative ends of a battery. They go together. When duties are discharged properly, rights will be secured of their own accord. How can rights be ensured without the due performance of duties? Recognize your responsibilities, that will make you deserve your rights. Develop largeness of heart. The heart is not a physical organ. It derives its name Hridaya from the fact that it is the seat of compassion, Daya. Develop the compassion for all. Go forward from the narrow feelings of I and mine to we and ours. It is not easy to comprehend the formless, attributeless, infinite divine. The truth of the divine has to be discovered and experienced by each one. The divine is omnipresent, but we must lead a life of truth and godliness based on this conviction. So, it is very important that we should certainly focus on the spiritual practice. In this short life, we have to achieve the spiritual goal of realizing the truth. So, how important it is, and it depends upon how much care and attention we give towards spiritual practice. Sri Ramakrishna tells very clearly, life is so short, devote yourself to spiritual practice. Let us try to do that. Any questions to ask? Haldar said, page 952, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Dr. Srinath studies Vedanta. He is a student of the Yoga Vasishtha. Master said, a householder should not hold the view that everything is illusory like a dream. Referring to a man named Kalidas, a devotee said, he too discusses Vedanta, but he has lost all his money in lawsuits. Master said smilingly, yes, one proclaims everything to be Maya and still one goes to court. To Rakal, Mukherjee of Janai, to Rakal, Sri Ramakrishna said, Mukherjee of Janai too talked big, but at last he came to his senses. If I were well, I should have talked a little more with Dr. Srinath. Can one obtain jnana just by talking about it? Haldar said, you are right, sir. I have seen enough of jnanas. I have seen enough of jnana. Now all I need is, in order to live in the world, is a little bhakti. The other day I came to you with a problem on my mind and you solved it. Master said eagerly, what was it? Haldar said, sir, when that boy, pointing to younger Naren, came in, you said he had controlled his passions. Master said, yes, it is true. He is totally unaffected by worldliness. He says he doesn't know what lust is. To Yam, Sri Ramakrishna said, just feel my body, all the hair is standing on end. The Master's hair actually stood on end at the thought of a pure mind totally devoid of lust. He always said that God manifests himself where there is no lust. Rakal, Haldar took his leave. Sri Ramakrishna was seated with the devotees. A crazy woman had been troubling everybody in order to see the Master. She had assumed toward him the attitude of a lover and often ran into the garden house and burst into the Master's room. She had even been beaten by the devotees, but that did not stop her. Shashi said, if she comes again, I shall show her out of the place. Master said tenderly, no, no, let her come and go away. Rakal said, at the beginning, I too used to feel jealous of others when they visited the Master, but he graciously revealed to me that my Guru is also the Guru of the universe. He has taken this birth Has he taken his birth only for a few of us? Shashi said, I don't mean that. But why should she trouble him when he is ill and she is such a nuisance? Rakal said, we all give him trouble. Did we all come to him after attaining perfection? Haven't we caused him suffering? How Narendra and some of the others behaved in the beginning? How they argued with him? Shashi said, whatever Narendra expressed in words, he carried out in his actions. Rakal said, how rude Dr. Sarkar has been to him. No one is guileless, if it comes to that. Master said to Rakal tenderly, will you eat something? Rakal said, not now, later on. Sri Ramakrishna asked him by a sign whether he was going to have his meal there. Rakal said to him, please take your meal here. He is asking you to. Sri Ramakrishna was seated completely naked. He looked like a 5-year-old boy. Just then the crazy woman climbed the stairs and stood near the door. Yam in a low voice to Shashi, ask her to salute him and go away. Don't make any fuss. Shashi took her downstairs. We shall stop here. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean, and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that bought for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean, he is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. How I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding thee of all sacred works, be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased, he being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.